Hello all, how are you? Greetings from Hack the Box. I'm Soti, aka Red Runner. I'm the Senior Manager of Community and very nice and happy to have you all of you here today at another exciting and very anticipating MEA actually, because today with us we have the one, the only, the amazing, the hacker, the content creator, the I don't know how I could ever describe him, a friend of HTB, someone who creates amazing content, and we wouldn't be happier and more excited to have him live with us. Please, all of you, give a big clap and a thumbs up for the most amazing of them all, John Hammond.
Hey everyone, thank you so much. That was like the sweetest intro ever. Thank you. That was super flattering. I'm super happy to be here with everyone, and it's great to see you all here.
So, guys, you might know me, may not. I'm as I said, the Senior Manager of Community, but I want us to do a proper introduction for John Hammond for everyone who doesn't know you. So, John Hammond, if you want, share all your details about yourself.
Okay. Oh, great. Thanks so much. Hi. Hey. Hello. My name is John Hammond. I am, I guess, a YouTube content creator. One of the cheesy things to say. I really, in my day job, for my full-time job as a senior security researcher with a company called Huntress. They do managed threat detection, incident response, and other work for the small to medium businesses, right? So folks that could use a little bit more love in the cybersecurity world. But no, for YouTube, that hopefully has kind of come to make a great community. I try to showcase a lot of cybersecurity videos and education, tutorials, capture the flag, walkthroughs, hack the box video showcases, and more. It's just a lot of fun. It's just a passion and something that I love to do. So happy to be here with you all.
Amazing. And one question from me before we start. John,
Yes.
So first of all, do you have any other nickname besides John Hammond that you used to go during your first hacking days or something else that was not John Hammond?
So my original, I guess, like alias, your hacker handle, I wanted it to be like root of the null, and it was supposed to be like the super user, right, the administrator root account, and then null being the value that meant like nothing or zero. So I thought it was super cool if you're root of the null, but it sounds so dumb to say it out loud. And then eventually I thought, hey, I should just use my name. I don't have any issue with that. So I don't know, root of the null was the old name. Now I just go by John.
Okay. And how did you find out about Hack the Box?
Ooh, yeah. So my beginnings in cybersecurity was truthfully at my undergrad. So I went to college, I went to university to learn. They didn't have a computer science degree. They didn't have a cybersecurity degree. It's not the best school to go to. But I tried to get into their cyber team. It was sort of a grassroots movement to learn a lot of this stuff. And I believe that was around the time I think you guys got started. So I might be wrong in the timeline, but that was 2017, 2018. Is that fair to say?
2017, yes, you're correct. Okay. This was the first time it started created, early 2017.
That's excellent. I remember, hey, we just had a group together and we knew this was this cool new war game site, this cool new cyber range. And we would participate and try some of the Hack the Box machines for practice, for our you go to sports practice every day. We kind of had to do the same thing for cybersecurity and our cyber team. And we would often be on Hack the Box. And that's how we learned and found out about it.
Okay. Do you still hang out with the people from those days?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So there are a good few of us that have kind of grown and gone to do different things, right? As you all do with your college and buddies and all. But if folks are familiar with some of my content and some of my channel, you might know Caleb. He's a phenomenal, great friend of mine. He's also a genius. The dude is like light years smarter than me. But him and I live very close by. We used to be roommates, and now he's working with me with Huntress at my day job. So definitely one great friend in that same space.
And how did you meet ippsec?
Ooh, yeah, ippsec was, I think, another content creator that we kind of just saw across the internet waves. he puts out fantastic, incredible stuff for Hack the Box, and it was always something that you're in awe of. You just sort of fanboy, and when we were close by, I think for one event, I think it was Sands. It might have been a Sands like Net Wars or a training
Sands
environment that was
Network, yeah.
close by. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we both knew, hey, you're going to be in the area. I know you're going to go play in this game or this competition. Do you want to just grab a drink somewhere? It'd be super cool to meet. And then we did. And it was exactly that. It was sort of, at least on my side, my opinion, like, hey, fanboy moment. It's incredible to meet you. And I don't know if he was feeling the same, but
Okay. Well, when we first met ippsec, like the phase reveal, we made the big company.
yeah.
I thought most of us, at least the ones that do hacking in the company, were like fainting, or we needed water, or we didn't know what to do. Like it was next level. It was like Christmas for hackers to meet ippsec. It's like, do you know this paint from Michelangelo that the god that gives to the human the power? It was like that. Yeah, exactly. When you shake hands with ippsec, you imagine like, and yes, and you get all the knowledge. And I remember the first video that I saw from you. It was about some cybersecurity challenge that they do every Christmas. And that was the first video that I found about you, and I was very excited. And I started watching your content, and it was also around 2017 that started HTB that I also started doing hacking. I was already doing it, but I started practicing with HTB, and I saw you also there. So I will stop rambling because I wanted, I'm fangirling, sorry, people. Yes, and I will go straight ahead to the amazing questions. And thank you for accepting the invitation. You were very kind to try to squeeze that, although everything that messed up with the schedule and everything, and you still came. It's much appreciated. Thank you, John.
Hey, thank you. I wanted to preface for any of the folks listening in. I know I'm not in my usual sort of like desk background, kind of my usual studio or place to record. I have to admit, I'll be totally honest and transparent. I'm out on a work trip right now. So I'm in a Vegas hotel room and I have the most ghetto, it's like sketchy setup recording at the moment. My camera is sitting on top of a upside down trash can. My light is coming from my cell phone over there, and this microphone is in one of the hotel glasses that it's being used as a tripod. So this is the absolute. We're making it happen. We're having fun. We're here.
These are life hacks. When you're a hacker, you're a hacker at everything. So these are life hacks, of course. So let's get started with questions. I hope everyone that now that you know that we are at Vegas, do not try to find where you are from the location of the hotel. Let's hope no one will abduct you towards at the end of the stream or in general. Have faith. Otherwise, it was very nice to meet you. So let's start. First question. How do you keep notes of new information techniques that you learn? Do you write mind maps?
Ooh, so I will be the first to admit I'm pretty bad at taking notes. What I like to do and what I try to do is create almost a GitHub repo for just about everything, because that way I know it's stored somewhere and it's accessible, and I'm not going to lose it if I don't have that computer, or if I'm not around it, I can access it anywhere because it's at least out on GitHub. Normally a private repository, and I'll just cram notes in there. I do really like to use Obsidian. I don't know if folks have heard of that application. If you go to obsidian.md, I think that's a phenomenal one because you can just super quick write stuff out, ham jam some notes, and put it in Markdown format. And Markdown is so easy to actually make beautiful, like great looking structure. And then you could easily render it out to LaTeX or PDF or HTML or any other format that you might like. And the other wonderful thing with Obsidian is that you can then link or reference one individual note or some line of thinking with another. And it will basically build out and graph that mind map for you. So if you're interested in that, if you like to have visual of what connects to what in your learning, I really like Obsidian, and that's honestly kind of what I tend to use. I know folks are a fan of Notion. I know some people might be just doing it in like OneDrive or whatever fits your fancy. Personally, I like just pure markdown text and something to help manage it.
You use that also for your besides your training. Do you use it also for your professional engagements to keep notes like that?
Yes, actually I do. It's so funny because we do a lot of just trying to organize and manage things, and sometimes you just have a giant list. And I do that with some of this weird, wacky stuff when we're trying to look for a certain kind of threat actor or understand some different kind of APT or things like that, or even just dark websites, anything really. I'll throw it in Obsidian because it can organize and it can track things, and it's got that beautiful folder display. I just tend to like Obsidian.
Okay, thank you for the amazing comments, actually. And it was very nice what you described with the mind pump and everything. I think I will for sure try it and let you know. Yeah. Also, if you want, guys, maybe you can write in the comments, what do you use for notes so the rest can know. So let's go to the next question. What video equipment do you use for your live streaming and for video creation? Are they different, and what is different?
Yeah, thanks. So I guess I'll start with gear, with kind of the real world stuff. I record. For the longest time, I didn't have the screen, or I didn't have a face cam or any video on me when trying to produce content. For the longest time, it was just the computer screen, and it was like a raw screencast. Eventually, I thought, hey, it'd be great to put a real face to it. So I am currently using Canon EOS R for my camera. That's hooked up with an Elgato, one of the Elgato cam links that connects a DSLR to the computer. And I use a Audio-Technica AT2020 microphone, all kind of bit and fed into OBS. I use that Open Broadcaster Studio. And that's really the gist of it. I don't have a whole lot of other fancy stuff. For those that kind of seen my content, it's normally pretty raw, just you're charging ahead on some problem, and there's not a lot of editing or any fancy effects or stuff like that. It's just, camera, video, audio, and it gets the job done.
And it just rolls. Yeah. Have you ever thought, though, to create videos like to hold the camera and move and do things like that? Yes. Or you just are thinking to stay more focused in pure hacking?
So many a times I have wanted to try and break into that sort of style, right? And I could do it. I could hold the camera, do a sort of vlog style thing or something cheesy, or I could have some other flashy effects, like other fantastic content creators. I think you guys are familiar with Network Chuck, right? Yeah. His production quality is like top notch, and he does education and teaching and training in such a good way.
He's smooth.
Yeah. I wish I could do that. I love that. I want to do that someday soon. Not yet at the moment, but I would love to. And I do think it's really necessary, honestly, to bring education and hacking and cybersecurity to more people, because maybe the audience isn't just going to want to sit through a 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour thing, just hardcore droning on the keyboard. They like the flashy, more cliche YouTube style structure, in my opinion. So I think it would be great to do that very, very soon. I hope to.
Who knows? Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
And the next question, fun fact, is very similar with this one. So as content creator, what video editing skills would you recommend to a pentester to learn? And any tips and tricks to improve one's production skills?
Sure. Yeah. So I, again, am kind of at the bare bone basics on that one, just the simple boilerplate stuff. I use an editing application called Kdenlive, or KDE Live. It's free, open source. It's in the Linux world, but will run, on Windows and on Linux. And it does the job, in that you can cut and splice and move things, and you got multi-track editing. So that works really well. I think basically that's all that I tend to need. And folks that have seen my content, again, have say it's very, very little editing. There might be occasional jump cuts when I just did something horribly wrong. But no, if you work into your production quality and your editing are getting like handwritten notes or something to sketch on the screen, I think that's a really cool effect. Being able to move maybe your face cam if you have that displayed, or have things float in on the screen to describe a contents, or say, hey, this is a server, this is a database, blah. I think it makes the video much smoother to do, and I haven't done it yet, but I think that'd be great. I'm
like
sure
Pwn
you've seen
function videos.
Yeah. Yes. Pwn function does a fantastic job.
Yeah, he's doing an amazing work. Cheers if you watch this. So let's move to the next question. Let's go, now it's more hacking. So whenever I try to start with Hack the Box or pentesting in general, I always feel like I'm missing some kind of prerequisite. How did you get past this first hurdle? Oh boy, I would say to this, but go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. I will say, in my opinion, that feeling never really goes away. Whenever you're looking at something, it sometimes you feel like, hey, I'm missing some other knowledge, or I don't know exactly the ins and outs of everything here. I think it just happens. It's natural because you're looking at so many different technologies. There's so much out there. This realm, this industry is humongous. I think you kind of, and I know this is such a bad answer, you kind of have to get comfortable with that and be okay with it, because it's going to impede you if you let it. It's going to hinder you and stop and draw you back from you trying to actually accomplish what you're trying to do, perform this pen test, get this hack done, do some sweet exploit or something. And it just gets in the way if you're letting yourself bog yourself down. Keep researching, keep Googling around. There's no shame in that. But maybe be a little bit comfortable with, hey, I don't know everything. And you never will. When people say, hey, they're an expert in cybersecurity, I don't think there are any experts in cybersecurity. There's just so much stuff. Exactly. So if you'd like, hey, take that as something new to learn and read in. And after the fact, once you've got the job done, go study up on whatever it was you felt like you were missing, or that prerequisite knowledge that you would have liked. So I see it in the chat. Event Horizon says being able to Google is a real skill. And that's it. That's absolutely right.
I would like also here to give my 2 cents. When I first started, it also felt so intimidating, because you see all these kind of people with all these different skills, and they know so many things, but you have to understand at the end of the day that you will never know everything. If you know everything at one point and you reach the top, then what is next for you? It's like there's nothing new for you to learn. So it's exciting that you don't know everything, and it's exciting that you will always learn new things. So I would say that put this fear away and try to, I don't know, embrace the moment and learn as much as possible you can.
I'm glad you're kind of in that same sentiment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next question. What do you do when you find a challenge, you don't have any idea how to solve it? You put it aside for a bit until a need pops up, or you learn something new and try to apply it again?
Yeah. So this varies based on your volition, your grit and determination, right? Because it's really hard to go dive into something that you've never heard of before, or never seen before, or never played with before. What I would recommend is honestly look at that technology, whether it's some sort of different server or service, or some protocol that's completely new to you. So you're trying to break into some port and it's just doing something on a weird technology that you've never seen. Go to their website and try to understand the original use case, like what this product, what this program is, what this software is genuinely for, and how do you set it up? Like oftentimes they have a quick start guide, or like a installation and setup just to get someone on the ground running with this program, with this software, with this technology. If you have the time for it, speed run through that setup so you get an understanding of how do I build this first? How do I make this? And how can I then understand where someone might mess up, or there's an accidental misconfiguration, or there's some vulnerability, or there's a version number where one version was vulnerable and this other version is patched, etc. So genuinely go through the documentation, understand it if you can, and then you'll be able to refocus and zoom in on it more. I think that is, if you can, is a great help. Or if you're in the thought where like, hey, I can't get any ground on this, step away for a little bit. There's no shame in taking a break. I see one comment in the chat. Snock is saying, hey, what if we were talking black box where you can't see kind of the other end of it? I would think you might still be able to Google and find that program, or what you're up against with a simple Nmap scan. In that scenario, I realize sometimes you just don't know. And if you genuinely don't, realistically fuzz. Try random punctuation marks, dashes, strange different kinds of payloads. There's nothing wrong with just trying stuff and seeing it happen.
And I can see the WAF after the fuzz going brr, but as they say, but okay. But yeah, fuzzing is the best in order to understand what technology is behind. And now that we have seen you, although we know where you are Huntress, you do also video content, you also play CTFs. So I think this is how this question came up. How much different is there in CTFs and real world corporeal industrial penetration tests?
Ooh, okay. I guess I'll have to take that in two different parts, because I think at its core, at the most minimal, the real heart of it is that they are very similar. When you're looking at capture the flag and penetration testing and real world red teaming engagement, stuff like that, you'll hear a lot of different answers. You hear a lot of people say, oh, it's not realistic. It's just a game. It's a puzzle. And there is an element of truth to that. But I think if you step away from a lot of the context, it is still problem solving. It is still determination. It is still grit. It is still research. It is still studying. It is still trying to learn on the fly and having that continuous learning. The technologies that you see might differ, right? If you're doing real world penetration testing, you're going to be in this maybe Active Directory environment. You've got Windows machines left and right. You've got a business, a whole corporation and enterprise that you're trying to understand and assess. You don't normally see that in a Pico CTF, but understanding a little bit of, hey, the cryptography that happens and the web applications that might be in use there for the services, or the email protocols, or they're using file transfer protocol. Those are all things that really do play a part. So I would say that they do align, and I'm understanding where sometimes people say they don't. But there is no better way to get the training and to get the preparation for penetration testing and real world cybersecurity than doing this hands-on work, then playing capture the flag, and then playing hack the box. All of the war games and cyber ranges are set up so that you know what you're doing when it's in the real world.
Yeah, I totally agree. And what I would like to say is also, what kind of CTFs do you target? Because from the CTFs that you target, you might get benefited for the areas you want to build more expertise. And also, for example, because you said about an infrastructure for the uni CTF, we always do like a mini AD lab at the end for the finals. And also for the business CTF, you participated, you saw, we had some things like that. I don't say this to brag for our CTFs, etc. There are many CTFs out there that have amazing content. All I'm saying is that although some might seem that it's too much out of reality, at the end of the day, it will help you because it's all about the thinking that you create.
Yeah.
And now another question that I think I'm very curious also, how do you cope working at Huntress and being a YouTuber?
Oh, you you really don't. I have that question a lot. And I actually tried to make a presentation and a talk on it. And I don't mean to be a very selfish thing where some folks might ask, like, hey, John, how do you do so much? How do you produce content? How do you work a J job? How do you get these certifications? Do you ever sleep, man? Um, the real answer is no. You
Honest, honest.
a lot of the time, a lot of stuff just falls to the wayside. And Roadrunner, I think you know exactly this. There'll be times where I do a really bad job of juggling things, and I won't get back to your email in like a week.
No, it's okay. It's
And I'm
okay.
sorry.
I do the same.
Yeah.
Not to you, but like, no, yeah, I understand.
Um, it's some things go to the sidelines, some things become a greater priority, and it's constantly in flux, and you're juggling. It's kind of a tug of war
Yeah,
thing. It's not fun. It's
yeah,
really tough. I will admit, and I hope I'll release that talk that I had presented on that if folks are interested in that. But you do a little bit of cost analysis, right? You see what your priorities are. You understand what would be best for you to focus on right now. And I think there's no secret. I even saw some folks in the chat say it like, John, why aren't you streaming on Twitch anymore? It's like, man, this month at work has been crazy busy. Like, John, I haven't uploaded a video on YouTube in a couple weeks. I know it's really tough sometimes. I would love to ever get to a position where I could do YouTube full time, but right now, just being a normal person, having a day
yeah,
job, right? It's just the best thing I think for me right now. But someday, maybe it would be a ton of fun. But
yeah,
for now, it's a balancing act, and I know everyone knows that same feeling. So
yeah. And when you do something that you love, actually so much, at the end of the day, you feel blessed that you get to do it so much. Um, and a little bit of career advice the community wants. FYI, guys, all the questions that we reply today are submitted through a survey that we sent a few days ago through our social media, ours and John Hammond, so we can be both prepared. But make sure to leave your comments here, and we try to reply as much as possible at the end of the AMEA. And to this question, different roles focus on different actions on a daily basis. But in a work environment, what would you suggest to not compromise about when walking into an interview for a job?
uh, I don't truthfully exactly follow that question just yet. Are they asking more about going into an
I
interview? Or?
think it's a little bit of you do a lot of things every day,
Okay.
but when it comes to work, what are your do's and don'ts in order, first of all, to stay professional, and second of all, to actually say hands and say, yes, I got the job, blah, 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 more on
Oh,
the soft skill side.
okay. Um, hmm. One of, I think, the biggest things that is best for you doing a job is, as you mentioned, those soft skills, is that communication, it's that transparency and honesty, and charisma, and just kind of being with people. uh, I'll be honest right now, as I mentioned, I'm at work. We're on the road for a trade show. So just yesterday and today and tomorrow, I'm at the booth being a vendor, talking to people, shaking hands, getting to know what their problems are and how can we better solve them. So it's just having a smile on your face, being able to talk with people, and those, I think, are, if you're remaining professional, that is one of the most important things. Is just, hey, I want to get to know what this person in front of me needs. What do they need to get done? What do they want? How can I help? And I think that really does go a long way in career, because
Yeah.
I don't know, that I think is what bolsters you and separates maybe you from others, right? It's just how well can you work with the other people that are trying to accomplish something, and how can you help them?
Yeah.
I think that's where they're going with that question. If they're asking for any interview tips or things like that, we can certainly chat about
Yeah.
that. But can I ask you,
Yeah.
Roadrunner, what do you think? Was I on the mark on
Well,
that?
to be honest, what I would say is some tips that it would be for the interview and for everything and for work. Be on time,
Yes.
learn to listen. It's very important to learn to listen and give the other person space to explain to you. And when something is missing or when you don't know how to do something or you're going to miss a deadline, always raise a red flag. And this is how a good team works. So be on time, know how to listen, be patient, and know when to ask for help. Um, so let's go to the next question. Um, how do you manage to churn out amazing content every time? Kindly share your thought process, your priorities, and factors that fuel this mission. I think we have
Well, thank you.
another fan of John Hammond here.
Thank you. No, that's a super sweet question. That is another thing that I honestly genuinely struggle with. And it gets into the weird imposter syndrome structure because I see a lot of other incredible, fantastic content creators. Like obviously ippsec is phenomenal. We've mentioned a few others and they do wonderful stuff. And I try to see, okay, where does mine stack? Where do I line up what I bring to the table? And I've tried to do some different things. We're not strictly capture the flag, right? I tried to do a little bit of malware analysis or something in that close to that realm. I've tried to do something in the whole cheesy dark web stuff. And a lot of that is very, very exploratory and that I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know the
Okay,
correct
honest.
answer. Yeah, I'm going on a safari ride, doing some show and tell to see like, wow, I'm just exploring. I'm just trying to see what works, what doesn't. And oftentimes I'll write bad code or do something stupid. And I hope folks enjoy that for a strange amount of entertainment value, but also the education value. Um, when
Yeah.
when they're asking how do you do this content, right now there isn't any plan. Right now there isn't any agenda of what I'm going to do when. I'd love to get some pie in the sky stuff, like, hey, let's do a tutorial series on Golang or do something crazy new and fun. I always have those ideas and those wants, but it's hard to find time to do it. Hopefully when I get back from this trip, I'll be able to do that more, because folks say, hey, John, can we see some tutorials on using pwn tools? Can we see more content in doing hack the box, right? I hope to do
Yeah.
more and more, but I try to just do what I have fun with and what I think people will want to see. So
Okay. And it's very interesting that a lot of the questions that we got, it was about code, pen testing, if it needs coding, and it's about, and this is the next question. So, is it really important to be good in programming in order to be a penetration tester? I'm still in denial on that part, but would like to hear from your point of view. Thank you.
this is such a good question, and I'm really glad that you asked. And a lot of folks ask this question, and there's nothing wrong with it because you just don't know. If you want to get into penetration testing, if you want to be a hacker, right? If you want to do ethical hacking and red teaming, all the cool, fun stuff, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, you can do it without learning code or programming. You can do it with an asterisk, with a disclaimer, with a big, you can, but it might not be the best move, right? When you do that, you can walk, in this analogy of walk and then run. If you learn
Yeah.
learn coding, if you learn scripting, then you can run. Then you can get so much more done. You aren't reliant on other tools. You can craft your own. You can automate so much
Exactly.
stuff. You can write the exploit to do some blind SQL injection, or you can do the brute force script by hand, writing it as you needed to. So while I say that you can, yes, but you're walking, you're crawling. If you take the time to learn some coding and scripting and programming, then you're running. Then you really got traction and grounded to your feet. So I would recommend it. I would absolutely say that you should. But if if you don't want to take on that undertaking, sure, you can, if I may.
Okay. Yeah, no, I totally understand and I agree on 100%. I think everyone in the chat. And another very interesting question: how do you learn things that are completely new to you? Where do you first search for it? And what do you search?
Ooh, okay. So I think I had already touched on this a little bit in that previous question. That was
Yeah.
go look at their real the product, the software, the tool, the technology. Go look at their website and try and set it up if you have the time for it, if you can. Go look at the documentation, read the documentation, look through their GitHub and look at the GitHub issues. That's a real big thing. If you look through the change log of something, some application, if you can, if it's out and about, if it has that open source repository, the change log is going to be super helpful to see what was done when, especially for different versions. You can see the issues. You can see the outstanding issues, what still hasn't been fixed if there are problems. Absolutely go do as much research as you can. It's based off the name of the software. The two key ingredients to start the hunt. But you've seen me videos. I'll do and I'll like click every single result. I'll open them in different tabs.
I think we have maybe a little a problem with the connection. You kind of broke at the end. If you want to repeat.
Oh, we're sorry if the connection is a little bit spotty.
It's okay.
I was saying I don't know if you can hear me okay?
Yes, now it's better.
Okay. Okay, great. I can turn off video or whatever if we're really hurting. But no, I honestly I'll Google and I'll click on every single result and try to read as much as I can.
Honest. And it's actually true. Now, another question. How do you deal with the writer's block equivalent of producing infosec content? Do you have set agendas or goals to produce this much by the end of day or week? Please share any tips or techniques.
So, don't. Another honest question and answer. When I have writer's block with YouTube and content creation, I just kind of have to suck it up and sit through it. And I've had those ideas like, man, it would be great to do some cool tutorial series or something new. And then I can't bring myself to do it. Something about sitting in front of a camera and then pressing the record button. There's some mental block where I just can't do it. Really just kind of have to take the break and relax and go back and do something different to maybe get back to it eventually. But I really struggle with that because I have a lot of I have a lot of cognitive dissonance where I'm like, I have to feed the YouTube algorithm.
That's true.
Yeah, like I know people and I see the comments that are saying, hey, John, where are the next Twitch streams? When are the next videos? And it's like, I know I'm trying, but it's a balancing act and I don't have an agenda. I'd like to try, but I haven't been able to get it right just yet. So hopefully soon.
Nice. And the next is also about YouTube. What were the biggest challenges when you started your YouTube channel? How did you overcome them?
Okay, yeah. So I really like this question. When I first started, right, you do have to get comfortable with no one seeing your videos. And that's a hard, honest truth. It's an unfortunate fact. But when you are just getting started, hey, subscriber count is at 0. It's really, really hard because you might bog yourself down or like no one's seeing this stuff. But if you keep doing it, if you keep creating videos, if you keep putting out content, no matter how good, no matter how bad, you have this, you click on your channel and you see this boom, wealth of content and stuff to explore. When someone discovers it, when someone finds it, it's going to catch like wildfire because there's so much gold to dig through. And it really does mean a lot to have that first impression of like, look at all this stuff that I can offer and bring to you. So keep doing it when you're at the very, very beginning. And don't let yourself get bogged down by that or gear or like, oh, the quality in that, et cetera, et cetera. And I'll touch on this that in the very beginning of I think 2018 is probably when my channel started to move and grow a little bit. I had maybe 10,000 subscribers, which isn't a ton, which isn't a small amount, but it's a number. And I had reached out to Live Overflow, who is another content creator in the same space. I don't know how often he likes to go out and do public stuff, but he was willing to nerd out with me for a little bit, and we wanted to do the Google Capture the Flag together. So we did a little bit of a collaborative video where we really just kind of shouted each other out. And that helped grow my channel, right? Just get to know some other cool creators. And I think that would really help and focus you in that sort of guerrilla marketing and advertising. Like there isn't all that much shame and like, hey, I posted a new video. I want to put it on Twitter. I want to put it on LinkedIn. I want to put it on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys know. I think that's something to help, nice. I don't know, echo and sell yourself.
Yeah. And also it's what you said about having good content and try to create something authentic and unique and show your true self. Definitely. Are there any, this is a question from me, from what we're discussing, are there any new content creators that are upcoming and that you really like them?
Ooh, absolutely. I'll have to pull up, we have a strange, silly club of the like security streamers and content creators or YouTubers. There are a lot of really great ones that I think just haven't gained the same amount of traction, but absolutely should. I know folks probably are familiar with Ash Fox or Optional. I'm trying to scroll through this list and see some other incredible people. Cybersecurity Meg is diving into it. Some of the bug bounty scene, Insider PhD is phenomenal stuff. Crypto Cat, I've seen him in the chat. Conda's been around. Crypto Cat, absolutely. Tons of great nice. Creators.
And we wish to all that you named and everyone else all the best to create amazing content and just keep creating amazing stuff.
Absolutely.
And another YouTube related question: what kind of legal considerations must you take when streaming infosec related content such as pentesting and bounty related things?
There is a surprising amount to think about when you do this, because streaming this sort of thing, right? Live hacking and cybersecurity. We just genuinely, you and I, Hack the Box and others, we consider it like esports, like video games, like hacking as a sport, as a spectator sport. Like, dude, it's really, really cool to get this out and about and live stream it, like as if it's a real game. And we've done, I think other content creators, ippsec and myself have had this conversation. Doing it live can be a little bit risky if the viewers have some control over the game. Because what if they do some stupid cross-site scripting and maybe drag you to some place that should not be displayed publicly out on the internet? That's not strictly a legal concern, right? But it's just a concern. Obviously, some of the spooky dark web shenanigans crap that I've done, that's cheesy, but you don't want any genuine, ethically, morally wrong stuff to be out on display. I don't want to leak my IP address, OPSEC reasons. I don't want to leak anyone else's information anywhere and about. Those are the things that you kind of have to keep in mind when you're doing that. OPSEC safety and concern of not only yourself but others is a thing.
Okay. So. Were you also one of those that YouTube banned some videos because of hacking inside?
I have somehow been extremely lucky in that YouTube has never given me any kind of strike or hit or any sort of wrist slap for hacking and cybersecurity content. I think that has always been because it is. I think that's always been. It's because it's captured the flag and war game and training. Um, but I have not truthfully been hit.
Okay, thankfully, because
Yeah.
you really want to have your content here. And actually, that is a very nice concern because now hacking and in general cybersecurity becomes a huge matter for everyone.
Yeah.
It's a shame to not be able to say it in YouTube because you can do everything in a moderation and in a way that is beneficial for everyone and not harming people or minds or um, cultures actually. And as I promised, we will keep the stream short. We are going now to the last question, and then we are going to announce the brackets for tomorrow. So let's
Okay.
go to the last question. I saved it for last because I found it hilarious. Get ready. Uh, aren't you tired of computers? Have you ever thought of relaxing in a place where there are no computers, no internet, and no digital stuff?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I say this slightly in jest because it is hilarious and it is totally funny.
Yeah.
But a lot of us have had October right as Cybersecurity Awareness Month, uh, and I don't know if that's in your region, but
Yeah,
it's
everywhere.
sort of become a meme. It's sort of become a joke to some folks. Obviously, there's a lot of real value in Cybersecurity Awareness Month because some people just aren't aware. Some people don't know, and they aren't as familiar with this sort of thing. But for a lot of us that do feel like, hey, we're in it, we know cybersecurity stuff, it just feels like a trite, saturated, overused thing.
Yeah.
And I had made a joke on Twitter, and I said, like, you know what? We should celebrate Cybersecurity Awareness Month by taking a 4-week vacation in the woods. No computers, no technology, no nothing. Uh,
Okay.
and it'd be good. It'd be good to disconnect. It'd be good to relax. It'd be good to dip your toes in the water. I don't know, have a drink by the beach. Don't ever, ever, ever underestimate the value of that rest and relaxation. It does really recharge
Yeah.
you, and it's necessary sometimes.
Yeah.
So I guess those are my parting words, if that's all right. It'd be great to disconnect every now and again.
Did you do it?
I have not.
Okay,
I'm at
nice.
work, right?
Okay. But when you actually go for vacation, do you say that I will completely disconnect? I will not open my phone. I will not open my computer. Or at least how many days can you do that?
uh, I will do my best. I'm really, really bad at it. Thankfully,
Okay.
I'll be busy enough that I physically can't open my laptop. But like at the end of the day, I'll still check my phone, or I'll see, hey, what happened in the whole rest of the world today. Um,
Okay. Yes,
but
I know. I
minimal,
get the feeling.
yeah.
So, and that is the end of the AMEA today. Thank you very much, John, for joining. Thank you very much for your time and try to squeeze it also in the schedule. And don't forget that, guys, tomorrow we have the live stream tournament because you were asking, I saw that in the comments, when is the next stream of John? It's tomorrow via Hack the Box Twitch with ippsec and I and the 16 amazing players that we're going to see now. Who is going to participate with whom? Actually, we are going to live shuffle the brackets. So we have here
Ooh,
the brackets.
nice.
So everyone is here. We have 16 people together, and I'm going to shuffle it. Are you ready, John?
I'm totally ready. Let's do it.
Okay, and before we do it, does anyone wants to comment whom they want to win or whom they want to see first, or which? Well, do you think what? Well, who would you think would be an interesting battle to see? For example, for me, I would think Enox versus Quaran because every time I see them playing together, so it would be
Yeah,
nice to see them,
that would be awesome to
not
see.
playing at the same side. Yeah. I would very much like to see Mentans because I met him also at RomHack. To see who else? I would like to see everyone, but I would. But yeah, I think Koaran versus Enox, because every time they play together, I think that will be very interesting if they end up playing against each other. Yeah. Are you ready to do the
Let's
final
do it.
shuffle?
Yeah, we can roll it up. Drum roll, right? Da-da-da-da.
And oh my God, we have Sebas vs Enox, Metans vs Scallop, OX Charm vs Firehawk, Munra vs Koaran, Noob Legacy vs My Donut, Mercury vs Smartman, Triple Threat versus Metal Merge,
Wow.
and Ars versus Geo. And
Excellent.
that is the list for tomorrow. Amazing.
It's going to be a
I'm
ton of
going.
fun.
Yes. Thank you very much, John, for your time, and thank you very much for everything. We will stay tuned for tomorrow. For the Twitch, I know it will be super early for you, 4 a.m.
Yes. No, hey, we're going to have a lot of fun.
And a lot of coffee.
Yeah. If it's totally cool to say before I tune out, hey, thank you from me, from the bottom of my heart. It's always a ton of fun to hang out with you all. Really lovely, and I appreciate the invite from Hack the Box. I realize this is a little unorthodox. I feel so bad coming to you from a shady hotel room in the dungeon. But thank you for tolerating it. Thank you for listening to me yap and ramble on. I really appreciate it, and thank you again and again. Can't say it enough.
Thank you very much, John, for your time, and have an amazing day. Bye.
Thanks all.
And that was it for today. Thank you very much all for tuning in. We have now the final brackets for tomorrow. Make sure to tune in it's 12 p.m. UTC tomorrow. Make sure to tune in. And I'm going also to announce the winners of the VIP Plus that won the tournament, and not that they won the VIP Plus from the surveys, and it Sag Noji, Arenix, and Faris Sarge. I'm going to put it here. We're going to DM you through our Discord channel. So these are the VIP winners. That didn't go well. Well, if you split it, you will understand. I dropped it in the chat. And yes, thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. It was amazing. And all the best. Have an amazing time. Bye.